This is your Barbados Today Evening News Update for Monday, April 1. So glad you can join us. I'm Fernella Wedderburn. Police are searching for two girls who escaped from the Government Industrial School at Barbados St. Lucie. They are 16-year-old Tamaj Omega Caesar and 15-year-old Keisha Wilson. Police say the two girls were seen climbing over a 10-foot fence with barbed wire at the facility between 12:30 and 12:45 p.m. yesterday. At the time of her escape, Caesar was wearing a white and blue short dress and blue jeans. She is 5 feet 3 inches tall and has a light brown complexion. She has black straightened hair and her mouth is slightly twisted. Meanwhile, Keisha was wearing a red and navy Tommy Hilfiger shirt, a black jeans short dress and blue jeans. Anyone with information about the whereabouts of the girls should contact police in emergency at 211 or the nearest police station. Police must infiltrate the organized criminal networks to arrest rising crime. That's the view of Dr. Dwayne Devonish, a senior lecturer at the University of the West Indies Cavell campus. He says it's time for police to stop running behind small criminals and turn their attention to those at the root of the problem. He warned that crime bosses who remain untouched are bent on luring young people to get involved in crime.
When you look at the amount of money and investment in criminal activity, especially when you look at the drug trade and the gun trade, even for someone who is underemployed, someone who's within, let's say, a clerical officer in the public service, that particular money, that amount of money, that particular opportunity is going to snatch that young person away. You see, we can talk a lot about youth programming in communities and trying to get the youth, develop skills and so on. But until we address the head of the snake, and I think this is where a lot of the research that I'm currently doing is going, the head of the snake, we will continue to have that problem where crime remains a lucrative and attractive opportunity for young people. 3
St. James men pleaded guilty to several drug-related charges when they appeared before Magistrate Wanda Blair in the Whole Town Magistrates Court today. The men were arrested yesterday after police of the Northern Division conducted a search at the home of 44-year-old Anderson Dennis Goodman of number 4 Greenwich Village and found a quantity of cannabis, 3 camouflage jackets, 3 camouflage pants, 2 camouflage pillowcases and 2 camouflage hats. The cannabis found in the house was 538 grams with a street value of $2,690. Goodman was charged with possession, intent to supply, and trafficking of cannabis and possession of camouflage. He pleaded guilty to all charges and was ordered to pay a fine of $3,000 in 2 months or spend 3 months in prison. For possession of camouflage, he was ordered to pay $400 in 2 months or spend 1 month in prison. On the other charges, he was convicted, reprimanded, and discharged. 36-year-old Joseph Romel Goodin of number 6 Trents, Tenantry St. James, pleaded guilty to possession, intent to supply, and trafficking of cannabis. He was fined $2,000 in 3 months or spent 3 months in jail. On the other 2 charges, he was convicted, reprimanded, and discharged. The third man, Adrian Antonio Blackett of number 3 Orange Hill St. James, pleaded guilty to possession of cannabis and possession of camouflage. On the first offense, he was fined $500 in 1 month or face 1 month in prison. On the second offense, he was ordered to pay $300 in 1 month or spend 1 month in prison. Now, during Sunday's drug seizure, lawmen also followed tracks from the house to a nearby gully and discovered 1,074 marijuana plants ranging from seedlings to those about 5 feet tall growing in the area. However, no one was charged in connection with that discovery. Barbados eyes a new trade partnership with its South American neighbors, Guyana and Suriname. One of this from Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade Minister Sandra Husbands at today's launch of the Network of Caribbean Chambers of Commerce at the Accra Beach Hotel. The network will seek to bolster regional trade and address a number of issues hindering commerce.
We've therefore stationed a special envoy in that country who will have discussions with both the private and public sector, thereby ensuring that measures are in place for improving trade and economic cooperation between both countries. During the discussion which led us to this point, the Ministry was keen to have input from the various stakeholders as to how such a policy should be crafted, or what Barbados should be seeking in its enhanced relationship with Suriname. The BSOs were instrumental in these discussions, and this is inclusive of the Chamber. The representatives of the Chamber were able to make input on areas of interest, terms and conditions of trade, transport requirements, trade facilitation, and other such important matters.
Minister Husbands is hopeful that the new network will be a strong partner in helping to shape and improve how the CARICOM single market and economy works.
Not only to engage at your national domestic level, but to engage in impacting on policy at the regional level so that we can make CSME work well, and more importantly, that there's collaboration and cooperation to engage the global environment together. By collaboration around a common goal of maximizing our regional space and hopefully regional joint initiatives, this network can be a powerful transformational tool of Caribbean fortunes. This is why the move to input at the domestic policy level and the regional policy level of the CSME is absolutely necessary and desirable.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Barbados Today, news you can trust.
To regional happenings now. Let the restructuring of LIAT begin, so says Antigua and Barbuda's Prime Minister Gaston Brown, as he welcomes the decision by the pilots and staff of the cash-strapped airline to accept a pay cut. Brown says the move is critical to keep the carrier in the air, and he's confident that LIAT's prospects have significantly improved. LIAT's shareholder governments have been seeking to get other Caribbean countries to contribute US $5.4 million in emergency funding to maintain the airline's operations. At the same time, 11 destinations were given until March 15 to respond to the airline's minimal revenue guarantee proposals. Under that model, some destinations could lose services if government is not prepared to fund them with a guarantee. And on the international front, MPs have again failed to agree on proposals on the next steps for Brexit. The Commons vote on 4 motions for leaving the EU, including customs union and a Norway-style arrangement, keeping the UK in the single market, but none gained a majority. Prime Minister Theresa May's plans that she negotiates with the EU has been rejected twice by historic margins in Parliament. The withdrawal agreement section of a deal was voted down again by MPs on Friday. May now has until April 12 to either seek a longer extension from the EU or to take a different course or decide to leave the EU without a deal.
In respect of Mr. Clark's motion C, Customs Union, the ayes were 273, the noes were 276. So the noes have it. In respect of Mr. Nicholas Bowles' motion D, Common Market 2.0, the ayes were 261, the noes were 282. So the noes have it. In respect of Mr. Peter Kyle's motion E, confirmatory public vote, the ayes were 280, the noes were 292. So the noes noes have it. In respect of Joanna Cherry's motion G, parliamentary supremacy, the ayes were 191, the noes were 292. So the noes have it.
And that's news. But for the very latest, visit our website at www.barbadostoday.bb. You can also subscribe to our e-paper email updates, to like us on Facebook, and sign up for our breaking news alerts via WhatsApp. We're also on Exhibit Media in bus terminals, as well as screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. And you can also hear us on Mix 96.9 FM and Capital Media HD 99.3 FM. I'm Fernella Wedderburn. Good evening.